Alright, so we got John sitting here cutting apart all of the trees that we bound together in order to show the perimeter. And as you can see, we're starting to prep the boxes. I know OSB is not the best thing to use for this, but it was free. The other thing that was free was these pieces of rod that are in here. So these are drilled in with a special drill bit about 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep. That way it'll keep it locked into the ledge. Now, the next thing is that we have these boxes. They're 16 inches or so across, which means I should have plenty of wiggle room in order to be able to set up my post. And what we're going to do is we're going to flat top these with concrete, which is why we've got our big old level here. And, whoop.
I put this on.
Alright, here you go. You want those back? Yeah. So, we've got our big old level here. We're going to go down through and we're going to level out each box as best as possible and then fill it all full of concrete. Obviously, we're going to have to put some little pieces in here, but we've got a bunch of scrap OSB that we're going to be using for that idea. I know this is not the best setup, but it's the right now setup in order to be able to get us the cabin up and running. And then later on, what I'll end up doing is I'll actually dig out a trench and I will actually fill the trench and then I'll put studs all the way up through the entire way. But that's a next year project, providing we're still here playing around with this land. Alright, so we got our prep work done. We got our concrete. Should be roughly about 2 bags per hole once you average them out. And up here we've got our forms all put in, and John's been packing the corners and stuff and the edges with the moss from over here on the side of the ledge. There's a ton of it and it packs right in nicely and seals all the edges. We're probably going to mud it a little bit on some of the bigger seams with some mud from the stream on the other end of the property. And as you can see, we've got those so that they're getting all nice and glued in and should seal up good. At the end of this video, I'll post up a picture of the drill bit that I used for those while I was using just this little itty bitty SKIL. I picked up one of the SKIL sets for off-grid here. It's about $170, $175 I think it was, off of Amazon for this, the saw, a reciprocating saw, and one heck of a very bright light. And I'll post a link for that down in the description if you'd like to check them out. They're labeled as Power Core 20, and part of their claim to fame is that they supposedly charge in exactly 20 minutes. I don't think that's very far from the truth, actually, because in my truck now, I've got the power inverter and I've got the charger for them. And it's about a 25-minute drive from here to where my father is. And they do charge up consistently by the time I get there. So, shout out to SKIL for having an advertisement that's actually true.
And want me to hit the white button?
No. Is it recording? Does it say record with a red dot? An R word? Okay, leave it right there. Yep, okay. So, see, now it's recording. Okay. So, set it so that you're watching me, and then I'll tell you when to hit the white dot, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, can you see me?
Yep.
Alright, so each one of these holes is a little bit over 2 50-pound bags. If you've ever done a lot of concrete mixing in a 5-gallon bucket, absolutely sucks. One recommendation is A, put water in the bottom before you add the concrete. B, add about 2 inches worth of concrete in, mix it, add 2 inches, mix it. It'll make it a lot easier. The other thing is, you've got a lot of upper body strength, but by the time you hit about your 5th bag, you're going to know just how weak you really are. If you have a stick about this long that you can brace up top, and then you put your knee on top, your knee and your elbow here. You can use the power in your legs with minimum effort on your arms and be able to continue mixing for hours. If you just do it with upper body strength, you're going to feel it. That's my helpful tip for you guys. Have fun. Yep, wait button. Alright, wait 5 seconds. We've got to go and do a sponsorship on this video, and I'm really happy to actually do this one. So, this video is actually going to be sponsored by a company called Tacklife. And basically, Tacklife got a hold of me and they asked if they could do a tool sponsorship on the video. And I actually sent them a letter saying, hey, I'm sorry, I'm living off-grid, I'm not in my garage. I just plain don't have the tools I had before in order to represent you guys. So Tacklife did an amazing job of actually thinking. Most sponsors don't do that, so you guys get props for me. They actually sent me this 12-volt air compressor. It runs right straight off of just a regular 12-volt outlet. As you can see, I've got my Audew 800 pack here that I swear by. I love these things. If you get a chance to pick one of these up, they've dropped drastically in price and they work amazing. But let's get to what we're actually talking about in this video. And that is this. It is the Tacklife ACP-1C, and it is a portable air compressor, and hopefully you can see right here, it actually has an electric readout to measure the PSI that you have, and down here it actually reads what your target is programmed. So right now I've got it set for 40, and I can program it down and I can program it up. But the tires that I have here are supposed to be at 40 PSI. As you can see, they're just a little bit on the slack side. So up here, we've got our light of doom, which does the usual LED, the usual red, and then the flashy get attention. And down below it, we've got a nice little tap button. And it is really quick. Amazingly quick. And by the time you put it paired with this Audew, you can literally take it just about anywhere. I've tried pumping up the tire now almost 6 times in a row, and I haven't even phased the Audew yet on how much battery life it has. After 6 different tire pump ups of different natures, it's only down to 3/4. So this thing is really, really proficient, and the light does function while it's pumping. I thought that was a nice add-on also. And we're at 39 while I've been sitting here babbling, and we should get up to 40 pretty soon. It'll shut itself right off. And while we're at it, it does come with a set of nifty little bits and everything to be able to work with. I think that's nice. So what do you think, John? Was it a good product?
Yes.
Aye. Say thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Alright, so we ended up making this little test footprint thing so we could see how the OSB ended up coming off. We got John 2019 on here. I figure even if we don't end up with the property, it's at least a stepping stone we can take in order to remember. And we'll see how this pops out. So the concrete's been settling in for about 12 hours. And as we all know, OSB is not the correct thing to use on the outside edge. And as you can also see, it's damp. There was a lot of dew last night, but the OSB seems to have broken off pretty good. That broke off without any issue. That broke off. And it definitely is still moist down in, so we know that the real blocks up top are going to have to leave for a while. But there we are.
Go lift it and put it in.
Alright, so John and I are up here and we're pulling off the little concrete areas, and here we are. As you can see, we got a little bit too much water in the mix, so we're gonna have to give it a few more days and let it really cure. But it came out good. We've got the one over there on the edge, the one right there. Accidentally ended up mashing the corner a bit. That was my own stupidity. One of those things you don't think about. So I had my concrete form here, and I thought I was going to be all brilliant and use this to secure the form. Except for in my brilliance, I put a screw this direction. Kind of hard to get to when there's concrete in front of it. So I accidentally broke the corner. It is what it is. And we're just going to move on and work with it from there. So we got one more to pop off and we should be all set.
These are probably caterpillars. We don't know.
Yeah, we think the black ooky ooze is dead caterpillars. What do you guys think?
Put comment in below.
John.
What?
Say goodbye.